Hey there, folks, and welcome back to the Dammâseq Campaign. I have to apologize, my voice is a little bit shot right now. I've been traveling, and I actually haven't played this campaign in a number of weeks, but I did go back and rewatch the previous episode to kind of get reacquainted with the progress of the campaign, and overall things are going quite well, to say the least. Last time, we took on foes in the north and the south, starting with Ebla, who we gave all of their Ebla region territory to our client state Tunip in the middle of integrating them. That'll be done in about 20 years in the late 920s, so it should be pretty handy. Ebla is resigned to a pretty minuscule fate up here in the Aleppo Plain area, very much in danger from Mari if Mari decides to go this direction, which I hope they don't, but they very well could. Incidentally, over here in the Ebla region, there is still this holding Setit, which Ursu controls. We will have to deal with this later. I don't really have any plan yet to deal with this. I think I might just have to wait for this Ursuan civil war to end, and then once they're reconstituted, or if a new tag emerges or something, we can get claims just from bordering, and then go for this in the peace deal. Maybe give it to Tunip if Tunip is still around at that point. We'll worry about that later. We don't really have this set up yet to deal with, so we'll just worry about that later. Over here, meanwhile, Arna has actually colonized these two tiles that are in the Hermesh province, which of course is within the Ebla region, and we do want to get this from Arna one way or another. We can't get claims on Arna from bordering them because we don't border them, only Tunip borders them. So that's irritating, but we'll just have to wait probably for the Tunip integration and then go for this ourselves. Assuming Arna survives that long, we have a serious problem if Mari, for example, fully annexes Arna and gains control of this section of Hermesh. That would create some Mari presence in one of our regions, which would not be ideal. But as we've seen in the past from the Kemet in Moab and Adam situation, we can come up with a plan if that does happen. And in this situation, Mari would only just barely be in a region that I mostly and overwhelmingly have control over, so that wouldn't really be the end of the universe. Now in the south, we took on an emergent nation, the formidable Philistia, who I believe Jaffa formed into, and seized control of the Canaan area, namely the Canaan region, with only a little bit left that is uncolonized. This isn't able to be colonized quite yet, both because Yavul was recently colonized, and because we don't have enough population in the area to do it, so we'll attend to that in a minute. We have the Jordan Rift Valley road crew in two teams. They're ready to go with some road projects in just a sec. But first I wanted to note that because there was this period where I had some chance to kind of reflect on the progress of the campaign, I wanted to start this video by commenting that now that we are definitely in the late game of the campaign, I wanted to start to kind of think about what are the goals of this campaign and what does ending the Dammâseq campaign actually look like. I'm having an absolute blast, so I'm not planning to end this campaign prematurely under any circumstance. We are playing this thing out to the very end, but that does actually mean having something to play out too, as in the Bronze Age Reborn mod, as far as I know, there isn't really a traditional end date. You just kind of keep going perpetually throughout the Bronze Age. I don't think that late Bronze Age stuff, like the Bronze Age collapse, is actually simulated in this mod. I'll have to look on the Discord a bit more to see if anything is said about that, but I'm pretty sure this mod doesn't have stuff that happens to sort of represent the Bronze Age collapse if you make it that far. Of course, I'll figure that out, and if that is the case, in the next episode I will tell you, and I'll talk more about how my plans change based on that. But for now, what I will say is the conclusion, the finale of the Dammâseq campaign will not be about reaching a point on the calendar, reaching some sort of end date. I think it's going to be more about reaching a natural stopping point based on accomplishing a series of self-imposed goals. And what these goals are, I'm not 100% sure on quite yet. I know at least one of them, but I will leave it open for myself to come up with more ideas as the campaign progresses. We're not there yet. We're still quite far away, honestly, even from the first goal that I've thought of. But I do have a loose idea of some of the other ones. But I will, for now, just mention one goal in particular, which is that in order for me to consider the Dammâseq campaign complete, one of the multiple things that I'll need to have occurred and have happened already is for Canaan to rule over all of the Canaanites. I think this is only fair. The Canaanite religion, we've named our own empire after it, so we want to be in charge of all of the Canaanites. Of course, we'll be converting people to be Canaanite as well, but the sort of historic land of the Canaanites, beyond what people convert to, is the Levant area and sort of the Fertile Crescent up until this split here, basically the edge of the Sahum region and the Mari region. So Mari is kind of the Mari region, I should say, is kind of the furthest southeast it goes, then up inland, a little bit inland, not super far inland. Essentially, I want to directly own all of this territory under the Canaan banner. I think that's an important goal in the campaign, because, among other things, this means actually forcing myself to eventually fight Mari. Mari is somebody I could probably get away with never fighting. They're also Canaanite, so obviously they're going to be friendlier with us than some of these other contemporary imperial powers. They're essentially the third most powerful nation in the game, after first me and then Kemet. If you look at the score, with the exception of how Minoa is propped up by their very small starting situation divider, essentially if you discount Minoa, because Minoa isn't actually a serious nation at this point, they just have a really strong score because of that math there. Mari is actually essentially the third most powerful after Kemet and then myself at the top. That being said, though, even though Mari is so much further down than me, I'm actually quite a bit more concerned about fighting Mari than I am about fighting Kemet, both because I've thought much more about what a war with Kemet looks like and how I can use the Nile and boats and whatnot to really bamboozle and outmaneuver the enemy AI. With Mari, there's no such advantage. We have to actually beat them essentially on a level, literally on a level playing field, in a literal sense. So that's going to be a lot more complicated and involve a lot more planning and resources. And at the end of the day, what we're getting, though, from that is the very valuable farmland territory all around the sort of upper minor river version of the Euphrates River, where it becomes the Euphrates down here. So this is quite valuable land to fight for, and these Canaanite people will be good additions to the Canaan Empire. So certainly a good long-term goal. I do think that taking on Kemet first before taking on Mari is the better call, because I think Kemet represents a bigger existential threat to Canaan, and they've just been my rival for a lot of the campaign now. But one of the sort of win conditions of this campaign is not just to control all of the Canaanite territory, but to have hegemony over the Canaanite people. So it's not just literally controlling all the pops, it's also kind of a thematic goal, which is to say, no other nation that is Canaanite can have any reasonable claim to be the hegemon over me. I think even at this point in the campaign, most people would say that Canaan is clearly superior to Mari in terms of the in-game stats, but if you're living in the Mari nation, you can actually make a strong argument that Mari is more of a hegemon over the Canaanite people than Canaan is, and that's not going to fly. So for this campaign to be considered complete and won, I need to actually tag delete Mari. I think that's going to be part of this sort of establishing hegemony over the Canaanites goal. It's to control the historic Canaanite areas, and of course I will still convert beyond that, but that the goal is at minimum to control the historic Canaanite areas, basically where my mouse is, and the Mari tag has to be out of the game. They have to be splintered into other states, they have to be destroyed, they have to be conquered. Whatever it looks like, the Mari tag has to go, and no other nation is going to be allowed to ascend to a level where they can claim some kind of hegemony or challenge my rule over the Canaanite peoples of this map. So that's the first goal that I have for winning the campaign. I will think about the other ones that I want to do. I may actually have even more extreme and ambitious goals beyond just this, but this is the first one, and it's one that's pretty local to this area. So I do think it is pretty feasible. Now, with that noted, one other thing I thought about between episodes, because I had this period to reflect on things, was some of the late-game mechanics that I don't normally interact with in these campaigns, because I don't normally get to the late game very often. But one late-game mechanic that I actually think would be kind of interesting to mess around with is actually Great Wonders. Of course, you can, with the Heirs of Alexander DLC that I have, you can actually build your own Great Wonders, and in this mod, it seems as though the wonder mechanics are largely not touched at all. It seems that all of these wonders are still able to be constructed. Wonders in this game are an enormous money and time sink. They often take 50 to 100 years to construct, and thousands, if not tens of thousands of gold to even start. And it's an enormous investment of your resources and economy, but the outcome of building a wonder beyond or aside from just the kind of the grandeur of having a wonder that you've built, that you can obviously customize quite a bit, is you also get access to extremely powerful wonder effects that you can choose what to have. The way this works is before you build the wonder, you have to pick 1 to 3 different effects. I think the wonders get more expensive or more prestigious. Let's see, 3727. They do get more expensive as you add more effects, so that's what I thought would happen. But you also unlock most effects from innovation, so I have a bunch of random effects that I've gotten over time. And what I'm thinking about doing wonder-wise is I want to eventually have multiple wonders in my nation. Obviously, at the start of the game, the one nation that has a wonder is one of the whichever Egyptian nation starts over here. I don't remember which one starts here, but currently Kemet controls this, and that's the Great Pyramids of Giza. Of course, the Old Kingdom existed even before the Middle Bronze Age, so these are already old even when the game starts. But this is, I think, the only wonder on the map. All the other wonders in the base game, for example, are built during or after the Bronze Age in real history, so we could start to build wonders of our own. And one thing I thought about building in Dammâseq as a starting point, which seems like a really good place to start with wonder construction, is a building. I don't have it like designed quite yet, but some sort of building which would represent essentially, I was thinking of calling it, the Tomb of the Aborids or something like that, to represent some sort of tomb building for the Abirid rulers and their families in the capital, and the effects I would pick for it. And I thought about a design. I'll sort of show you later once we have the resources to actually start to plan it out and build it. But the effects I would go for are effects that are both consistent with the kind of goals of the campaign that I've played out through my Abirid characters, and also effects that are really good to get and that are actually strong for this campaign. So, for example, one effect I would absolutely prioritize, if I can remember where it is. I think it's up here, actually. Yeah, it's Expanding Culture. This effect per level or per tier of prestige, I'll talk about prestige in a minute, gives you unbelievable bonuses for your country. At tier 4, it's 40% pop assimilation speed and pop conversion speed in the whole country while you control this wonder. Absolutely outrageously powerful bonuses. And this is such a great bonus that is both great for the campaign and reflects the kind of ideology of the Aborids, who I've played as all consistently being assimilationist monsters. This is all completely consistent with the theming of the wonder and the goals of the campaign, because it both reflects how the campaign has been and where the campaign will go in terms of what kind of bonuses are going to really help. Additionally, another really strong one that I'm thinking about is down here somewhere. Omen Observations at the highest tier, 20% Omen power. That's incredibly strong. And I looked through this off camera when I was planning out this idea. There's no effect that directly gives you tyranny reduction, but as with other things in the game, we can get increased tyranny reduction through Omen power. So Omen power is always a really strong thing to increase, because your Omen is then a bonus that you pick what you want. So Omen, Observations, and this other one up here, Expanding Culture, these are both modifiers I'd really, really want for this Tomb of the Aborids thing, and it just reflects the ideology of the Aborids quite well, I think, so that's kind of nice as well. The last thing I'd probably want of the three, I thought about one that was just a good gameplay effect, which is Fertile Nation, because this gives the Wonders province a bunch of bonuses to pop growth and pop capacity. This would be in the Damascus Oasis province, so obviously quite a strong bonus to stack up in my province that is the largest city, Dammâseq. But I don't know if this really thematically fits the Tomb of the Aborids idea. I could go to this as a backup option if I have nothing more thematically appropriate. The other one I thought about was Honored Leader, which would make sense for a tomb, because you're honoring the leaders, literally the Aborids. And the bonus from this is really strong. Integrated Culture Happiness 20% at the highest tier, and Monthly Ruler Pop Gain at the highest tier. So that's quite good. So I think I might go for Honored Leader as the third one. All three of these, incidentally, require inventions I don't currently have. And I looked at this off camera, and I didn't find where this one was, but all the others are pretty reachable, actually, with my current tech tree. I can just eventually start to make my way towards them through my my technologies as I get, this one's Grand Temples and whatnot. As I get more techs, I can work my way there and unlock them, and I need them all unlocked before I start building the wonder. And then the way it works with prestige and tiers, so essentially, every type of wonder, there's three kinds of wonders. There's towers, buildings, and pyramids. The kind of an increasing amount of work done, and also prestige by default. And the way it works with prestige, so prestige is kind of a wonder rating system, and depending on the resources so depending on the type, so towers are the least prestigious, buildings are more prestigious, and these are all with the same low levels of stone for the three sort of sections of the wonder, and pyramids are the most prestigious. And the way this would work is that the level of starting prestige represents the tier of the effects when the building is constructed. So, for example, if it's over 35 prestige in total, all of the effects you put on it are at tier 2 by default, and every effect has 4 tier versions that are increasingly powerful. You place an effect, the highest effect possible, so for example this is tier 2, I can put a tier 2 effect, or a tier 1 effect if I really wanted to, But if I change this to be the tower, I have to only put a tier 1 effect, right? That's the way that that works. And so on top of the different types of buildings having higher innate tiers, with pyramid, all stone actually still being above the tier 2 threshold, different types of materials for each part of the building also give additional prestige bonuses. So stone is the lowest prestige, and then in increasing prestige you get wood, marble, ebony, copper, iron, silver, ivory, and gold. And so as you change it, you can see the prestige shoots way up. You can have all 3 parts be different materials, or all 3 of them could just be made of gold, which is the best kind. So in theory, a pyramid where all 3 kinds are gold is the best kind of wonder you can build just in terms of starting prestige. But prestige also slowly accumulates as the wonder ages. So once you build the wonder, it gradually gains more prestige as it ages. I don't know how fast this is, probably it's pretty slow. So you can build something that's not, for example, at tier 3, but it ages up into tier 3 prestige and its effects increase, or its effects level up to the tier 3 effect once it reaches that point from aging. Which is great because building a gold pyramid is unbelievably expensive. That's 11,000 gold, which is actually not that hard to save up to with our current economy, but this is an enormous investment. And 15 PI, incidentally, you have to have stone and precious metals, which we already do in the location we're building it. And the time investment is ridiculous. So sure, we don't have a construction leader appointed because I'm not actually going to build this right now, so that adds more time. So just take the 24,000 day building window and increase it by 25% because we would have a good construction leader. But it's still going, like this, for example, is about 70 years. It's technically, I think, 68 years. So that's basically the longest we're going to see here. Yeah, so overall, wonder construction is very expensive. It's very time-consuming. And I don't know if this actually uses those population and stops them from contributing to the economy. It could be the case, because that would make sense if they're the workforce. Either way, this is a late-game mechanic that I am excited to kind of explore. My thinking for the Tomb of the Average is it would probably be a building, and I have a design in mind. I'll kind of show you a mock-up idea of what I have here. I want it to be the circular building, because I want it to be a bit more discreet, a bit more, well, maybe not discreet's the right word, because I'm going to make it out of gold, but a bit more, small scale, kind of not represent some sort of giant structure, because the idea is that this is going to be in the Dammâseq tile, sharing it with this giant city, so it's more like the entrance of a giant underground structure. And what I want is the Ionic with statues, and then the top of it, I think this is the right roof. And so what I was thinking here, this is the general shape, so it has this circular shape. The side of it has all these statues of the different Aberrid leaders, and I'll actually just show you kind of a mock-up here. So Tomb of the Aberids. So instead of all of the Aberids having their own like pyramids, like what Egypt does, they're going to have this kind of collective, family tomb here in Dammâseq. And there'll be all these statues on the outside showing all the different leaders and their families and whatnot. And then, let me just show you here. So what I was thinking is that the bottom would be ivory, and then the other 2 parts would be gold. So that's the columns and statues, and the top would be gold as well. So this is the idea that I had. This is like the way it would look. The reason for this is that just this looks nice with the ivory background, and the pattern on the bottom dais is really, really nice. It has a nice contrast. You can see the figures really well. If the base was gold, it's kind of a little bit more noisy. And the prestige difference between ivory and gold, you're still above the tier 3 cutoff, so it doesn't matter. You start at tier 3 either way. And the ivory looks really, really nice, honestly. It kind of shines in the sun. The nice thing here, too, so what I'm thinking about with this is that the statues and like the sort of gold coloration represents the splendor and the prestige of the Aberrid family that are being depicted there. And then the top part, this roof, actually has a meaning in my mind, because it's this gold circle with these sort of 4 points, this middle part. It's basically like a sun, right? It's the shape of a sun. And the Canaan symbol is a star, so this is actually sort of a stealth symbol of Canaan, of course with the Aberrid family literally standing around the pillars that hold up the symbol of Canaan. So it's extremely, like, architecturally symbolic of the idea of this monument. The Tomb of the Aberids, it's not just a building that's the entrance to sort of a theoretical underground superstructure of all the different Aberrid tombs, because there's not a lot of room in this one building, right? But it's meant to sort of symbolically represent the star of Canaan, the star of this nation, being held up by these golden pillars with these statues. The Aberids are the center holding up this nation, definitely the kind of, monarch-centric view that a monarchy building a wonder would have of itself, so very appropriate there. Yeah, so I think this idea for a wonder is quite interesting, and this is probably the wonder I'll go for as my first great wonder. The issue is I don't have the resources built up, I don't have the plan to use this workforce right now, and I don't have all the effects organized quite yet. So obviously, for the Tomb of the Aborids, what I think I want is, again, expanding culture, so I need dominance through enlightenment for that, and then I need, additionally, let's see here, honored leader is probably the second one, and then the last one I'll go for is omen observance, so this needs Grand Temple, and then the honored leader one needs Avatar of Glory. Now I looked at this between episodes as well, but essentially in my tech tree, over here, where was it? Yeah, Avatar of Glory is right here, so I can get Avatar of Glory whenever I want, so I can get the honored leader one right away. And then, let me remind myself what the other ones were called, because my memory is not very good. Yeah, Honored Leader, so Avatar of Glory, we can get that with one more tech, so that can happen within a couple years, probably. And then, down here, Omen Observance, so yeah, Grand Temple, I'm assuming that's in the religion area, or the religion tech tree, I should say. Grand Temple, here it is. Okay, so this is a little further away. We can get some good bonuses along the way, though, so this is a goal, is to get to Grand Temples. And then lastly, in the actual wonder, the first one we wanted, I think it was something through dominance. Where is it? Dominance through enlightenment. I actually don't know where that one is. Dominance through enlightenment. Oh, here it is. Okay, so this is pretty easy to reach. Just one more over here. So okay, so we have ourselves a game plan. So for now, the phase I'm at with the wonder plan is I'm basically planning to plan in the wonder. I need to first get the effects, which is its own, goal to reach. But once we actually build this building, it's going to look really good. I think it's going to give Dammâseq a lot of prestige. I mean, it literally will, but it's going to give our capital a lot of pizzazz to have the Tomb of the Aborids. I think it's a cool-looking wonder. I like it because it looks appropriate to the time period, but it also doesn't look like too crazy. It's kind of a more modest first wonder, and it's one that is Abirid-centric, which makes sense for the time period and for the progression of the campaign. So all of that being said, 22 minutes in the episode or whatever, I think we're good to go ahead and resume the actual campaign. We're not there yet, obviously, but we're going to work towards that. I will also try to avoid serious expenditures as we build up our income. We have to really build up a big savings to even construct that wonder at all. But of course, once we do get it constructed, it's going to be so valuable. Because we're probably like 6 or 7 techs away from even being able to start the wonder, assuming we had the resources, we can continue spending money for now to continually stabilize our nation and whatnot. But we will have to save money for that eventually. So for now, let's spend some more money with some roading. Okay, so what I want to do is start roading up the Canaan region down here, and I think, let's see, these guys are standing in Yabna'el. That's pretty good. Alright, so this first team here, I'm going to get to roading over to Ascalon, just along the coast, and then from there down to Rapahu. That makes sense to me. And then you guys over here, what I want to do, let me think about this. So to link up with Got, we go like this. So from here to come back over, would go like that. I guess we could connect it through there. I guess that would be fine. Yeah, so let's head on over and get Got linked up. And then we'll go from there. But yeah, I think we're good to go ahead and resume the campaign. Usually sell to people as well. Very good. Alright, you rode down... Actually, hold on. If you were to be in Yerushalayim, it does go like that. Okay. I guess once we have this road, will that change the pathing here? Probably not, right? Let me think about this. I guess it's fine to road from here. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. These guys are in a defensive league with Ebla. But we don't have a claim on them anyways, so it doesn't matter what they're doing. Can't do too much about that. Alright. Good, good, good. There we go. These guys have arrived. So from here, they still go like this. We should road like this because they still move in this manner. Road to here, actually. There we go. And then we'll connect up these roads in a minute, perhaps. No promises. Our stability is not doing great, by the way, and I should probably save my PI to stab the pig. We need 125 now, thanks to our great power status. One of the just flat downsides of being a great power is the stab change modifier cost. That's not ideal, but we will have to attend to that. Yeah. Over here in Canaan, how are things looking? Pretty good, actually. Yeah, no real issues anywhere, so happy with that. Alright. Yeah, having the 2 road crews will speed up roading quite a bit. 24th of February for these guys. Okay, good. So now, from Yerushalayim to get to Gat, that's great. From Yabna'el to get to Gat, perfect. Okay. And I guess I could road here and like connect all these up, but I don't really think that's necessary. I don't know what circumstance I'll have them standing in Sora and need to move in an unroaded way around this little like loop. It's not that big of a deal, honestly. I could have actually, if I had all this territory before, I guess I might have actually, I don't know. The road through here might have been a little extra, but it's fine. Let's head over to Gat, and actually let's fast force march over to Gat and keep roading our way southward, I think. That's pretty fast. Alright. Now, from Gat, I think a road down to Hatsarim is pretty important. And, let me think about this. Let's see, if I was in Yerushalayim, yeah, I would still go through this, like, route. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's going around Rahat, because Rahat is actually a stealth hills tile. It looks like another plains tile, but no, this is a hill. So it's going around Rahat, and also through this direction for some reason. Probably just because of where the middle of the tile is. Yeah, let's just road like how it moves. That makes the most sense. Having the 2 road at the same time also is doubling our road cost per month, but we have so much money right now. We can almost afford the road cost per month with our income by itself. So that's pretty good. Alright. I'm also considering returning to my decreased pay playstyle, but honestly, I have so much integrated culture happiness now, I don't really know if I need to do that. Also, what's this? Magnificent carving. An ivory carver, master of his craft, approached us and gifted the royal family a magnificent statuette carved from the purest ivory. Which is cool because I was just talking about building a wonder mostly out of ivory, so maybe this guy was hearing me talk. The many details he carved show the care and love he has for his art and the divine. It is a most impressive piece, yet we have to decide what we should do with it. Displaying it in the throne room would surely impress visitors, yet we could also gift it to a temple, for it is a representation of a deity. Should we have to, we could also sell it, though the carver will surely not appreciate this act. Okay, we could get about 5 or 6 months worth of income, or a very good bonus. That is, wow, that is a very good bonus. Oh my gosh, for 10 years as well. We're going to display this in the palace. Absolutely. Looks good to me. Also, Philistia has no more ports, so their navy is going to slowly starve to death out in the ocean. Very funny. But, yeah, things are looking quite good. Once we get below 85 tyranny, I think I'm going to demolish or revoke another city as well. And when can this be done? Unclear. Not yet, though, is the main thing. Also, we should probably do some more colonial ventures. I've been neglecting that once again. I'm assuming we don't have colonial ventures in effect. I don't think so. Okay, where should we set up a colony is the question. Probably a Joffin colony. It's time for that, so let's crack open the culture phone book and find Jaffa. And assume they're at the bottom here somewhere. There needs to be a way to... Actually, can I sort this? We can sort this by culture name. That's probably something I should have done a long time ago. Yeah, I don't know why I never thought to do that. Okay, so these guys, I could find a colony in Yerushalayim. That's not the Jaffa location I was expecting, but I guess that would be okay. Yerushalayim's already quite a large city. It is farmland. I guess this would be fine. It's essentially a border city with Moab and Edom. So, couldn't hurt to have more people over here. It already has a palace as well. Or the Acraeans I could do. No, I actually can't do that. Alright. Arwada, where do these guys live? Bakari. Why do I not know where that is? Alright, let's just go back down to Jaffa. Actually, let me look at it like this. Who do I need to assimilate next? Maybe the Samarians? Do I have a Samarian colony yet? I assume so at this point, right? I actually don't have a Samarian colony. I have a Sama colony, but not a Samarian colony. This puts it in Samaria, which is one of my towns. That wouldn't be the worst thing. That might be okay, actually, yeah. It's farmland. It's at the northern edge of Canaan, so not the worst thing. Yeah, sure. Let me set up a Samarian colony. Actually, you know what? Let me set up a colony in a non-integrated culture area, like Ugarit. That seems like a better idea. Do we have an Ugariti colony yet? Surely we do, right? Yeah, we do, okay. What about a... Oh, here's Arwada, okay. What about... Where are these guys? These guys are Ugarit as well. Like Irkata, maybe? No, that's not going to work. Let me think about this. Maybe in the valley over here? Let's see, can we set up a Kumadu? No. Set up a Don colony? Actually, Huzaza mostly lives there. Let me find Huzaza in the list. Can't believe I never organized this by name until now. Huzaza. Okay, Huzaza in Cadiz. That is not the right spot. Where's Cadiz? Cadiz is over here. Okay, that's not the right spot. Alright, somebody else. Donnie? Tyrians live here. Can I set up a Tyrian colony? I think I've done one. No, I actually can. In Hazor. Alright, that's the right spot. Well, Tyrians are Canaanite, but this is a pretty good spot to set up a colony in, to be fully honest. So let's set up a Tyrian colony. Hazor gains gains colony rather, so that also helps with the assimilation over here. It's farmland on the river, pretty good spot. Alright. Hazor, a Dammâseq colony. The arrival of Dammâseq settlers has hardly endeared the local population to us, but the foundation of a colony in this area is without a doubt the best way to exert control here in the long run. Soon even the local Tyrian inhabitants will see how our city will prosper and surpass any previous settlements they may have had in this area before the land was confiscated. Alright. Great. Hazor grows even further. In fact, they could get another building as well. Getting a theater here could be quite good for even increased assimilation. We have a lot of non-Dammâseq living here, so yeah, I think a theater here is actually pretty called for. And the happiness bonuses is quite nice too. Great. Okay, that is handy. Let's resume. There has recently been a large influx of Mouth of the Orontes traders and travelers visiting Sidon. As Mouth of the Orontes is under our protection, they have opened up and tried to become more friendly and well-known throughout our nation. As both sides are starting to see the benefits of this relationship, we should try to make a decision on what kind of limits we are going to set up to their influence in Sidon. Hmm. I think I'd rather have the citizens, honestly, but the wrong culture group, which is irritating. Go to Sudan. Sudan is over here, right? That's tier. That's too far south, I think. Am I? Here's Sudan, okay. This place, well, it's really close to the edge. Although I could build, I have not actually built. Yeah, because Sudan's not a planned city, that's right. Yeah. I actually don't want more population in Sudan, to be fully honest. Let me just get the money and get the commercial bonus. That's fine. Yeah, we're good. Are you guys here? Can we do this yet? No. Let's preemptively road to Rafah, just so we have a road to the border. Then we'll road out to and fortify Nerbut once that time is right. These guys are almost here. Alright. Looking good. That's my king doing. Healthy. His son has a couple of kids now. Daughter Sophonisba is 12. Stats are pretty okay. They're very, very much like average across the board. Her younger brother Daniel, 7 charisma is pretty good, and then BB Gamilla, we don't really know what to make of that quite yet, so that's fine. I guess we'll see what happens with that. And Hatsarim is still being constructed as a city. The end of 9/10, end of October, or no, not end of October. Near the end of 9/10 is what I'm trying to say. Okay, there we go. And then let's speed back over to Rapahu. We're going to create a road over to Hatsarim from this direction, I think. Alright. This, I think, looks pretty good. Then we'll make a little loop right there. Alright. Get back over here and create the loop. And then we'll maybe make a connection to Gaza or something over on this side. Perfect. Now, I haven't forgotten about my plan to build a great Canaanite navy, but we're not there yet. I want to get these roads finished first. Ooh, okay. Yep, we do want the 3 stability. That's much more valuable than the actual money at the minute. That is a sure thing. Then Be'er Saba, I kind of want to actually demote from being a city. I think I will do that after we get below 85 tyranny. So I'll keep an eye on that. Alright. Actually, Hebron I should probably demote first. Actually, Hebron already has a good building, so I won't demote Hebron. Okay, now you're done. Now you head up here, and let's see. Gap to Ascalon. I think I'll do that road there. Perfect. Alright. Yeah, this looks pretty good. I'll probably, from Ascalon, create this road here. Alright. One thing I could do as well is I could actually do that decision that I decided not to do last time. Spend 300 gold to get 4 colonizations immediately. This would actually probably be worth more than the manpower it costs to do all these colonizations and waiting for the colonial thing to expire. One thing we could do is do this and then try to sell the stuff over the border over to Hen and Nesut. But then it would actually be selling them into a border connection to us, which has its downsides. That being said, Hen and Nesut is a different AI than Kemet. So although Kemet is their overlord, and I think pretty firmly their overlord, I don't think Hen and Nesut has any chance to break free right now. Technically speaking, Kemet shouldn't be mad from bordering us, or they shouldn't change their AI behavior. And Hen and Nesut has limited diplomacy. So actually, you know, I think I've talked myself into this idea. I think I am going to go for that decision. Because what I can do is try to sell Kempt and Meheb. I don't want to have stuff in this region. If they won't take it for money, they'll probably will still take it just for free. And if they won't take it for free, I can just assign somebody to be the governor of this region and just hold it for myself. Especially because one of my possible long-term goals might actually be to control the entire Mediterranean coast, which is a very like sort of proto-Phoenician idea of mine. But that's a much, 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 much bigger goal than just defeating Mari. So I don't know if I want to commit to that goal quite yet. But even if I don't go for that sort of Mare Nostrum style goal, controlling the parts of Egypt that are on the coast is still a possible way to handle the future Kemet conflict. So owning this territory directly isn't the worst idea ever. So it would be nice to travel along the coast of the Mediterranean, connecting Egypt to Philistia, facilitating trade and war. Okay. Now, what I can do is go over here to Nerbut and immediately start fortifying this right away. And then over here, Henneneset, how would you like to buy some territory? They would take it for free, so that's a good start. They would only take it for free. I think, controversial move, I'm going to actually give land to Egypt's client state. This is, weirdly enough, actually a good idea for my future Egypt conflict goals, because I don't want to have territory in Henneneset's region. I'm going to give this to them for free. And then we're going to give this to them after we're allowed to talk to them in 1 month. So that is the plan there. We're just going to leave this ungoverned for a second. That's perfectly fine. We can always conquer this back later in a war. I just don't want to control this land when it's going to be putting me into conflict with Henneneset for sort of no good reason. And then once you guys are done roading, we'll have you come over and road over to the fort. So yeah, just like that, we now have all of Canaan controlled, by the way, because that's the rest of the Canaan region that we didn't control yet, so that's pretty good. Alright, 1st of November, you'll be done. We also have another one of these. I'm actually going to send you over to go do the road. So force march over here. And then Henneneset, 8th of November for that. Okay, what was I working towards? I think rewarding campaigns. But, alternatively, I could go for something like coastal combat for the riverine combat bonus ahead of my Kemet war. Or I could start doing stuff over here, which I've been completely neglecting. I think actually getting these things for their bonuses is kind of called for now. Namely, because Axemen are such a small part of my levy, I do think I will go for coastal combat, to be fully honest. Yeah. Coastal combat. Alright, so coastal sea combat bonus and riverine combat bonus. Both types of water I'll probably do most of my fighting in. So this is just a flat bonus. It's pretty good. Alright, and then 8th of November we'll finish that sale. Alright, Henneneset. Let's do some trading. They probably would buy it if they liked me more, so I don't really... It's fine though, I'm not too concerned about that. I just want to get rid of it. Right, that can go to you. Alright. So now, I shouldn't have... There we go, it went away, yeah, we're good now. Okay, so I've expanded Egypt on their behalf, which is, if anything, is quite a boss move for Bronze Age power. When you're a Bronze Age power of such magnitude, you actually expand your rival for them. It's kind of a power move. But yeah, also our name is now so big it transcends the border of land and water, so that's pretty cool. Quite handy. Alright. Remember when I said that Jaber was like this extreme outer frontier that I might fortify someday? Yeah, now it's like in the middle of my nation. How times change. Alright, you are here, rode over to Nerbut. I might actually build a level 2 fort at Nerbut, to be fully honest. And I might also build a level 2 fort at Sushkalu. Actually, no, I can't, because it's a settlement. What am I talking about? Can't build a level 2 fort there, even if I wanted to. So, that's fine. Martial advance, alright. We have one more innovation. So the question is, I don't remember what I was going for previously. Oh, right, I was going for Patrocinium. I should get this first before I go for the other stuff for the Wonder plans. Monthly PI plus 25% and loyalty of characters plus 2. This is so much better to just get now and then get the other stuff in a bit. Not to mention we can also get stuff like administrative patronage later. Yeah, no, this is worth it. The protection offered by the system of patronage establishes legal and financial security. We should encourage this behavior among our more benevolent elite. Alright, up to almost 4 PI per month. That's crazy. Real good stuff. Alright, good job. Is this a road that's finished? I think this road that's invisible is... oh, whatever. Okay, so from... oh, I see, actually, yeah, this is the road here. Okay, never mind. I see what's going on. Okay, so from Ascalon, to get down here, we do take a route that gets us off the road. So let me head over here, and a road from here... hold on. Road from here to here, yeah. Get that done. Also, we're almost at the end of the year, so we have an omen coming up in about a month, half a month now. So, should be good. So, forgot to move you. Alright. Road. Let's connect up this to this. Alright. There we go. 1st of January, 910. Not a War Council year, but just a regular omen year. Okay, so I think we just reselect Shop Ash for continued tyranny loss. I think that's the way to do it. Especially because a lot of our newer conquests have been they've been right culture group cultures, so we don't need the assimilation bonuses quite as much down here, I don't think. So Shop Ash it is. Alright. And I do still am thinking I am still thinking about going to war with Enkomi to literally just destroy their temple of Shapash in Kira so I can rebuild it myself and get the bonuses. I need the fleet first is the thing. One way I could go about doing this, also 1st of January 910, before I unpause, let me do a quick check of the assimilation progression of things. Yabrudu, oh yeah, that's right, Yabrudu. This should stay where it is, I think, so we'll leave that as it is, because of Yabrudu's unusual characteristics. Yeah, everything else is way too far down, so we just keep everything else as it is. Byblos needs to stay in harsh treatment. Anybody else need to go to harsh treatment? Jordan is fine. Mahanium is probably fine. I might build a new building there to compensate. Epirim is fine. Or Epraim, rather. Sidon needs to stay in harsh treatment for a bit longer. Everything down here. Tadmor Oasis can probably leave harsh treatment now, actually. I think we have enough. Yeah, Tadmor Oasis is stable. Tyr needs to stay in harsh treatment. Ugarit... yeah, still needs to stay in harsh treatment. Samara needs to stay. Tuna Napa needs... I need to do some more work up here, I think. I should build a city at Gro, to be fully honest. Who lives up here, by the way? What's the culture that lives in this area? This is Eblaite. I'm sure I have an Eblaite colony set up already, right? I actually do not, but I can't find one. Oh, I have Colonial Ventures. It would put it in Kashpa, which is not the right spot. It's next to the right spot. All right. Well, I think we'll just found a city up here. I get that being said, though, I kind of want to save my PI. I think I need to stab the pig more than I need to found a city up here. We have plenty of room still, and we can always send up the King's Levy to go do the Anabasis thing up here. So I think we can wait for a little bit longer. Either way, so that's fine, basically, is what I'm saying. Gaza is fine. This place is fine. This place is more or less fine. Simone, that's fine. Yeah, this is all fine. This is fine. This is fine. And then down here, this is fine. Okay, yeah, we're looking good, basically. And then ideas-wise, I think this is all the best things for us. Yep, I think we're looking good. Let's continue. stuff. So now from the cities, so from Ascalon to get here, it goes through this route. From Ascalon to get to Got, it goes through the route. From Got to get here, it goes through this route. Okay, so we could connect up all the little loops, or connect up the loop, but don't really think we need to. Again, at the minute, I'm just trying to build road networks between my cities, namely my provincial capitals to be specific. So I don't really need to get any more complicated than that. From here to get to Ascalon, or to get here. So yeah, we're looking fine. I think we're good. Okay, any other roads I want to get going around here? I don't really think I need any more roads. It's pretty... Oh my gosh, my mouse. It's pretty well connected around here. I could build a road over here. Let me actually investigate really quick. If I was up here... If I was in Haman, I'm going to go here. I would cross over the hills. Actually, Haman's not a capital, so if I was in Akko, I would go around. If I was in Tyr, I would go around. Yeah. So never mind. This is actually not going to be a city long-term. I mean, it might be a city again, but it's not like a long-term planned city. I think we're fine with roading for now. I don't think there's any more roading to do at the minute. Again, I am always thinking about, do I want to road through Yabrudu? I don't really think I want to. I want to keep Yabrudu as a defensive bit of terrain. Any more roads to build? I don't really think so, to be fully honest. I could create a road in like the southern area over here. In fact, I could also build like a city down here, just so I have something making use of this territory. This might... I'm kind of open to the idea, and what it could actually be is my first city that I build that's not a planned provincial capital, but just a city to make use of the space. There's a lot of plains around here that's just not being used for anything. So what I could do, for example, is build a city at Kizhel. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pretty central location. It is the right distance away from Katna and from Akash, and it's almost the right distance from Harbesia. It's pretty close. Helps protect the southern area, and it turns the space from just a giant empty plain to an area around a city. It's plains with no water, so it's not a great location, but I've built cities in those sorts of locations before. I think just because I have this force ready for use, let me move these guys up here and actually get them working on that idea. What I think I want to do is create like a giant loop around this area, and then have Kizhel be kind of the edge of the loop. So yeah, not to mention this puts us in the Katna province, which if I look at my stats here, I don't remember its sort of ranking. Katna is one of the more populous and has plenty of loyalty room and whatnot. So yeah, I think this isn't the worst idea. I think we go for this, honestly. Kind of a random spot to found a city, but it could be kind of cool to found my own city, one where there wasn't really a city present, or one where I didn't think to build a city before. Yeah, sure. Let's go for it. Mostly it's just to add more roads to make this place look a bit nicer on the Atlas mode. This is like a conspicuously unroaded area compared to my southern areas. So this will make it look a bit more lived in. Alright, so do we found the city here first? I guess is the question. Who lives here right now? Mostly just slaves. We have a number of Dammâseq here. We have a Dammâseq citizen. I guess we'll get the city foundation going here in Kizhel. And then, yeah, we'll send the road crew up to work on that. These guys will be done pretty soon. Alright. One of these days. Okay, my wife has died. That is a bummer. She died yesterday. That is too bad. Just open the marriage menu. There's not really a lot of great options, but I need that charisma real bad. The tyranny reduction loss is painful. And the zeal loss is actually kind of a big deal. Let me get a zealous wife. Yeah, so mourning aside, I think we need to get remarried. Actually, marrying an older lady would help ensure there's no unexpected births complicating my succession. I don't think that's a realistic problem, but I think we're fine either way. Who do I marry? Let me look at it. So zeal-wise, we do have a very zealous lady. She does have also pretty good charisma. Masha or Mitba, she seems like a pretty good option. She's in poor health, but we're not getting her for the long term here. It's just a temporary stat boost. Yeah, she does. She boosts up the two stats that Abdishart needs the most right now, which is zeal and charisma. So I think this is the way to go. All right, Masha. Welcome to the family. Suitable match. After careful deliberation, assessments of potential spouses, and is this guy your rival? Hold on. No, you don't have any rivals. We're fine. And a great deal of research into various bloodlines and heritages, Abdishart summoned his aides and issued an offer of marriage to Masha of the Ormitba dynasty. Despite the appearance of Bat Noam, head of the Ormitba family, it seems that all concerns were solved by the mournful background wailings that Abdishart has offered in support. What? Mournful background wailings? Was this generated by ChatGPT? Like, what the fuck is this? I mean, technically speaking, Abdishart should be in mourning right now, so this isn't exactly inappropriate, but it's like, what is this? Like, because this is always like a randomly generated, like, reference, but okay, let's go for it. Alright, so hopefully my kids aren't too mad about that, but this is for the good of the realm. Yeah, that tyranny bonus is going to be really, really important, and the stab bonus is crazy important. Whew, okay. The mournful wailings really changed that guy's opinion about the whole thing. Alright, some forts are done. Oh my gosh, yeah, all the Ugarit forts that I was building are complete. Which reminds me, turn off the fort maintenance, please. There we go. The game always resets it whenever I do anything, so I need to check that and babysit it constantly. A loyal subject. Alright, we've seen this event before. Oh my gosh, it's 10 stability now. But we could get 5 stability and lose 10 loyalty on this relatively unimportant family character. Absolutely. Yep. No question about that one. Given that I would probably just spend the PI on getting more stability, it's better to just get the stability immediately. Also, the theater and Hazor is constructing along pretty well. Gizgo. Ooh! Yep. 18 gold for 6 stability and religious tech investment bonus. Absolutely. Yep. That's very nice. Thank you for that one. Alright, good job. At this point, you guys are probably done, I think. I don't really think I need any more roads. I could build a road, for example, from Hatsarim to Yerushalayim. I don't think that's necessary, though. I think we're done in the south for now. Yeah, so these guys, I'll just leave here for now. I'll disband them once I disband the other side. I guess I could actually just raise the Khatna. Yeah, let me do that, actually. These guys have earned a rest. I'm going to go ahead and replace them and do my road building in, not Khatna, the Kadesh area with the Kadesh levy. So there you go, and then we'll raise the Kadesh levy to build their own road. Actually, technically, it's also into Ebla, but yeah, that's fine. Start at Herbija, and we'll get these guys to do some road building. But that's going to have to happen in the next episode of the Dammâseq Campaign. Thank you all so much for watching this planning-centric episode, although it did accomplish some stuff and got our territory better organized. I think in the next episode, I'm going to start planning out my... now that I've reached my territorial expansion I want to reach at this phase of the campaign, before my fighting with Mari and Kemet and whatnot, I'm going to start planning out my invasion of Kypros. I thought about it, and I do think that I want to kind of get my navy constructed and first use them to take on Kypros and then turn towards Kemet, as I want to control Kypros as a staging ground for the Kemet invasion. A little far away as a staging ground, but it is a good thing to have in my control, and this should be a relatively straightforward fight, although it will take some planning to organize, but that's going to be in the near future for the campaign. Whatever the case, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.